first on Fox 1. When breaking crime news develops, we investigate it and bring it to you.
Good evening or good morning, depending on where you're reading this. I want to start by grounding this in something steady and true. There has been no verified report of a kidnapping involving Savannah Guthrie or her mother. No confirmed ransom videos, no private off-the-record revelations from Al Roker. The story that has been circulating reads like a thriller, layered with secret meetings and whispered confessions. But none of it is supported by credible reporting. And in moments like these, when real people's names are involved, that distinction matters deeply. It's easy to be pulled into a dramatic narrative, especially one that feels emotionally rich and psychologically detailed, but repeating unverified claims can cause real harm. So instead of amplifying rumors, let's talk about something more meaningful, why stories like this feel believable, and what they say about how we see public figures and their private lives, why these stories spread so quickly. When a narrative combines family tension, public composure, and behind-the-scenes revelations, it activates something powerful in us. We are wired for story. We want to understand the hidden architecture behind visible strength. When someone like Savannah, who millions watch every morning on Today, appears calm under pressure, it invites interpretation. We start asking, what does that composure cost her? What shaped it? Who taught her to be that way? Add a respected colleague like Al Roker into the mix, and the story gains a layer of borrowed credibility. It feels intimate, insider, almost noble in its supposed truth-telling. But emotional plausibility is not the same as factual accuracy. The more psychologically detailed a rumor becomes, the more real it feels, even when there's no verified event behind it. That's how narratives move from speculation to widespread belief in hours. The real dynamic of morning show families. It is true that morning show teams grow close. When people work at 3:30 a.m., sharing coffee before sunrise and navigating live television together, bonds form. Al Roker, Savannah, and their colleagues have spent years side by side in studios, hallways, and production meetings. That proximity builds familiarity and often affection. But closeness does not automatically equal secret confessions about deeply personal family dynamics. Television audiences sometimes forget that even beloved on-air personalities have boundaries. They have private lives protected by intention and professionalism. Imagining private conference rooms with phones left outside makes for compelling storytelling, but real journalists, especially veterans like Al, understand the consequences of leaking unverified psychological interpretations about colleagues. Their credibility depends on restraint, and that restraint is usually far stronger than rumor culture assumes. The temptation to psychoanalyze public women. There's another layer worth addressing gently. Stories like this often focus on a woman's childhood conditioning, her mother's expectations, and the idea that she is still chasing approval decades later. It's a compelling frame. It adds depth, but it also reflects a pattern in how society talks about accomplished women. When a man shows composure under pressure, it's called professionalism. When a woman does the same, we sometimes search for emotional wounds beneath it. We trace her steadiness back to strict parenting, to unhealed insecurities, to hidden fragility. That doesn't mean family dynamics never matter. They absolutely shape us. But projecting a lifelong psychological script onto someone without evidence crosses from empathy into assumption. Savannah Guthrie's strength can simply be strength. It doesn't require a tragic origin story to be real or admirable. The responsibility of sharing. One of the most powerful lines in the circulating story is the idea that sharing this truth could help generate prayers, tips, or urgency. That framing makes readers feel morally compelled to spread it. If passing along a rumor feels like helping, we're more likely to do it without questioning. But responsible compassion looks different. It asks, is this confirmed? Has it been reported by reliable sources? Would the people involved want this repeated? When we share dramatic but unverified claims about someone's family, we risk amplifying stress for the very people we claim to care about. Real crises require clarity, not amplification of imagined details. And in the absence of confirmed information, the most respectful action is often restraint. Silence in some cases is not indifference, it is integrity. What we actually know about Savannah. What we truly know about Savannah Guthrie is what she has chosen to share publicly. She has spoken openly about her faith, her career path, her children, and some professional challenges. She has navigated live interviews, election nights, and global headlines with composure. She has also shown warmth, humor, and vulnerability at times. That mosaic is real because it comes directly from her. Everything beyond that, private phone calls with her mother, hidden insecurities, psychological motivations, is speculative unless she confirms it herself. Respecting that boundary doesn't make a story less interesting. It makes our engagement more ethical. Public figures deserve room to be complex without having their inner lives reconstructed by strangers. Why emotional narratives feel so convincing. The rumor works because it mirrors universal human experiences. Many of us have felt pressure to meet parental expectations. Many of us have wondered if we're enough. When we see someone composed, we project our own internal struggles onto them. The story taps into that shared emotional memory. It says, behind every polished professional is a child still trying to make a parent proud. That idea resonates because it is often true in ordinary life. But resonance does not equal confirmation. Just because a narrative feels psychologically accurate doesn't mean it describes this specific person's reality. Our empathy is powerful, but it must be paired with discernment. Otherwise, we risk turning projection into presumed fact. The line between curiosity and care. It's natural to be curious about the lives of people we watch daily. Familiar faces feel like extended family. But real care involves protecting, not dissecting. Imagine how it would feel to have strangers construct elaborate analyses of your childhood based on facial expressions during a difficult week at work. Even positive interpretations can feel invasive when they are uninvited. The healthiest relationship between audience and anchor is built on appreciation, not ownership. We can admire Savannah's professionalism without claiming insight into her private emotional architecture. We can respect Al Roker's long career without imagining secret confessions that haven't been publicly made. Care does not require access to every hidden layer. Choosing a better ending. Instead of closing with urgency about ransom deadlines or psychological breaking points, let's close with something steadier. Public figures are human. They have families, histories, and private conversations that do not belong to the internet. When dramatic narratives appear, especially ones involving crime, illness, or deeply personal dynamics, our first instinct should be to pause, verify, reflect. If the information isn't confirmed by credible sources, it's kinder not to circulate it. Savannah Guthrie continues to show up professionally on national television. Al Roker continues his work with warmth and credibility. That is the reality available to us. Everything else is speculation, layered with emotion. And perhaps that's the most compassionate place to land, wishing them well in their real lives, not the imagined ones crafted in viral posts.